We are taking you into the news right now with the Fox 45 news feed. It's 11 a.m. We are tracking the next weather maker as many in our area are still cleaning up from Tuesday's storms. Coming up, meteorologist Justin Chambers will time out the new storm hour by hour. And lawmakers are back in Annapolis today. We'll look at the options they have to try and bridge a budget deficit and whether a tax hike could happen. A big day for former Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby here. The big court hearing this afternoon as she prepares for her second federal trial. Fox 45 News Midday starts now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Shannon Lilly. We are on weather alert as we are tracking the next weather maker that could bring heavy rain and strong winds. And as we brace for the next storm, there's some good news for those in Annapolis who were hit hard by storms earlier this week. The Annapolis mayor is announcing new funding for small businesses that were hit hard by the storms. Take a look. This is just some of the damage that we saw on Tuesday. Annapolis saw the third worst flooding in the city's history. Just about 30 minutes ago, Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley signed a state of emergency of the city. The declaration will allow local businesses to access special grant recovery funding. As for this new round of storms and what exactly we'll see, let's go straight to meteorologist Justin Chambers for a closer look.
Well, we are tracking more rain and wind on our weather alert day. Flooding will be possible for tonight. The timing after about 6 or 7 o'clock is when the rain and the wind will start to impact all of us, especially those low-lying areas, the coastal areas as well. Our temperatures for the next few hours, upper 40s and lower 50s. So we'll continue to see those clouds build in later this afternoon. But we're dry for a good majority of the day. It's not until tonight that we'll have to deal with that wet weather. We'll be in the upper 40s and lower 50s. We actually will be kind of milder tonight. Overnight lows only dropping to the upper 40s as well. We'll actually get colder as we head toward tomorrow afternoon. That's going to start a big change with our temperatures and our winter weather possibilities. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Justin. Justin, a major announcement about the future of electric cars and how Maryland will factor into that. U.S. Deputy Secretary of Transportation Polly Trottenberg is in Baltimore and just announced major funding to expand the state's electric vehicle charging network. Now, it's part of the Biden administration's plan to allocate $623 million in grants to help build EV charging stations. The grants will fund 47 EV charging stations in 22 states and Puerto Rico. The project will add a total of 7,500 new charging ports nationwide. Topping local news, the 2024 legislative session is in full swing in Annapolis. State lawmakers are being tasked with tackling violent crime, juvenile justice, and other top issues. Among them, a budget deficit, the Kirwan education mandate, infrastructure issues, and more. The shortfall has led to talk about potential tax hikes. Olivia Dance brings us a closer look at how high the price tag could climb and who will pay for it.
Well, the buzz is back in Annapolis, and as lawmakers returned here to the State House this week for the start of session, they were greeted with the crippling news that Maryland is facing a $761 million budget shortfall, and lawmakers only have 3 months to decide how to dig Maryland out. As the federal COVID dollars dry up, the state's fiscal crisis becomes all too clear. Senate President Bill Ferguson says they're going to have to be fiscally prudent, but taxpayer watchdog David Williams says the governor has a long shopping list of things to buy, and the state simply can't afford it. The items that pose some of the biggest blows to Maryland's budget include the $3.8 billion the state has committed to the Kirwan Commission and education reforms, the more than $3 billion to pay for the governor's promised Red Line project in Baltimore, $1 billion in clean energy initiatives, and finally, an almost $500 million on salary increases for state employees.
The 800-pound gorilla in the room is the Kirwan Commission, education spending. That is the first place they have to look. If you raise taxes on individuals, they may leave the state. There is no good answer here when it comes to raising taxes because people will change their behavior or the price of goods will go up, and that will hurt people even more.
Williams says stopping spending will produce the greatest impact, but some lawmakers say that tax hikes are a possibility, despite Ferguson saying he doesn't think it's necessary. So take a listen to what he said.
I don't see any need for wholesale tax increases in any way. I think there are a couple areas where we may have to look at special funds.
I've heard the Senate president say he doesn't think he has an appetite for big tax increases this year. I've been here long enough to know that sometimes in the middle of the session meal, your appetite changes and all of a sudden things pop up.
Governor Wes Moore hasn't ruled out tax hikes, though, so we're just going to have to wait and see what solutions state leaders come up with. For now, reporting in Annapolis, I'm Olivia Dance, Fox 45 News, Midday.
Thank you, Olivia. Fox 45 will have continuing coverage of session 2024. Mackenzie Frost will be in Annapolis following every step of this year's legislative session over the next 3 months. You can find complete coverage on air and online at foxbaltimore.com. Now to a look at today's top trending stories. Trending number 1, controversy surrounding the Baltimore City State's Attorney citation docket. State's Attorney Ivan Bates is pushing for officers across Baltimore to hold the city's residents accountable for low-level crimes. But there are growing concerns those tickets are not being written. Public Safety Committee Chair Mark Conway is calling for an oversight hearing to take place at next month's public safety meeting. Trending number 2, prosecutors want to try all of the Brooklyn Day shooting suspects at once. There are currently 5 suspects charged in connection to the shooting that killed 2 people and left 28 injured. The prosecution is arguing the evidence against the suspects overlaps and it would be more efficient to hold one joint trial. But the defense is pushing back on that, saying a single trial would confuse the jury. Trending number 3, a federal appeals court will review a decision shutting down a Maryland gun control law. In November, a panel of 3 judges ruled a state law requiring a license before purchasing a firearm was illegal. Now, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals is hearing that case. Trending number 4, a Maryland elections board member resigns after being arrested for participating in the January 6th Capitol riots. 52-year-old Carlos Ayala is charged with a felony and other related misdemeanor offenses. Federal investigators allege that he was identified on video among other rioters illegally gathered on restricted Capitol grounds. Trending number 5, effective today, mandatory masking is back at Johns Hopkins Medicine locations statewide. The healthcare system saying a rise in hospitalizations due to respiratory illnesses is prompting them to bring mandatory masks. The new policy is expected to be in place on a short-term basis until illnesses drop. Still ahead, is it okay to bring little kids to nice restaurants? In a new viral rant, one woman is telling parents to stay home or hire a sitter. We'll ask you to weigh in on that debate coming up. And eBay is paying millions to settle claims company employees harassed a family. Coming up, why the DOJ was involved in that case.
Fox 45 News, winner of 16 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
It's 11:10 now, and taking a look at your social stream, a federal appeals court rules Alabama can begin enforcing a ban on gender-affirming health care for minors. The 2022 law makes it a felony to prescribe gender-affirming puberty blockers or hormones to transgender people under 19. Alabama's Attorney General says the measure protects children, but those who challenge the ban argue it is harmful to transgender youth. And of course, a lot of people talking about this online with differing opinions. This user here says gender-affirming care is life-saving care. These politicians will have the blood of children on their hands. All of them deserve to know how it feels to be trans in a state where it's been criminalized. Shame on every single one of them. This user here says, I have no doubts the number of legal battles over this issue will eventually make its way to the SCOTUS. What I don't know is how the individual justices would rule on said issue. An Ohio woman who had a miscarriage at home and was then arrested when she went to the hospital for help will not face charges. That's the ruling from a grand jury who decided 34-year-old Brittany Watts should not face charges. Watts was arrested and charged with abuse of a corpse after miscarrying at home, but a grand jury decided Watts was not criminally liable. Look here, it's disgusting what politics has done to women. Denise here says, in the meantime, they have ruined her life. eBay has agreed to pay $3 million to resolve criminal charges over a harassment campaign by employees against a Massachusetts couple. The Justice Department charged the online retailer with stalking, witness tampering, and obstruction of justice. David and Ina Steiner produced an online newsletter that upset eBay executives with its coverage. Prosecutors say in 2019, employees tried to intimidate the couple by sending live spiders, cockroaches, and other disturbing items. This is just hard to wrap your mind around. This user says jail time should be involved. And here's this one. Okay, but what's the backstory here? Did they just randomly do that? I don't think anything justifies that, though. Still ahead, the FAA is officially launching an investigation into Boeing after one of its jets lost a door plug mid-flight. Coming up, a closer look at the investigation into what went wrong. But first, there is a pretrial hearing today for former Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby. Coming up, how this case differs from her previous federal trial. Well, we are back with a live look over the Inner Harbor as we are on weather alert. But you wouldn't know that by looking outside right now. It looks beautiful right now. Justin Chambers, though, is going to time out the detail of when tonight's storm is going to roll in, plus a sneak peek at your holiday forecast. That's coming up. Former Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby will be back in federal court today for a final pretrial hearing. Mosby faces 2 charges of making false statements on a loan application. Federal prosecutors claim Mosby failed to disclose the $45,000 tax lien on her home in Baltimore when she bought the 2 Florida homes. It's possible Mosby and her ex-husband, City Council President Nick Mosby, will testify during this trial. In fact, we spoke with Jeremy Eldridge, an attorney who's not affiliated with this trial, but he says it could be difficult to prove Mosby didn't know about that lien, like she claims, if she doesn't take the stand.
It's very difficult to imagine how you could present that testimony through just Nick Mosby when it's her signature on the document, or else she'll be left exactly where she was before, and that's with no story to tell the jury. The issue is, if you are going to utilize this innocent spouse defense, part of it looks at what do you do for a living? How complicated are you as a person? So the idea that she's not complex or complicated or lacks finesse to understand her tax filings and just signs pieces of paper under perjury without reviewing them, it really is going to be a difficult argument for a jury to buy, given just her complexity as a public figure.
Now, you'll remember in November, Mosby was found guilty on 2 charges of perjury during a separate federal trial. She did not testify in that trial. She faces up to 5 years in prison for each perjury charge, but will not be sentenced until after the conclusion of this second trial. Fox 45 News' Jeff Abel will be at today's hearing. We will bring you updates online and on Fox 45 News at 4. Well, the Federal Aviation Administration formally notifies Boeing it is under investigation. The agency says it will determine whether its planes conform to their approved designs and were in a condition for safe operation in compliance with FAA regulations. The probe comes less than a week after a door plug blew out of a Boeing 737 MAX 9 during an Alaska Airlines flight. Rental car company Hertz is selling off about 1/3 of its electric vehicle fleet. It will use the money to buy gasoline-powered cars instead. Hertz made a big push into EVs in recent years, but now the company says they are hurting its bottom line. Microsoft moves past Apple as the most valuable company in the world. Analysts from at least 3 banks have downgraded Apple's stock already this year. At least 2 of those analysts are concerned the iPhone is underperforming in China. Coming up today at 4, our weather alert coverage continues. Our team is live in Annapolis tracking the latest conditions and risks for even more flooding. Governor Wes Moore announces plans to open a firearm prevention center. We press him on how it's different from other centers and how much it'll cost taxpayers. Plus, Baltimore City inching closer to 200 car thefts in the first 2 weeks of the new year. We press city leaders on solutions as residents pay the consequences. You can get Fox 45 News in a flash through your Amazon Alexa or Echo. We now deliver your local headlines and your forecast in less than 2 minutes. If you have an Amazon device, just tell it to enable Fox 45 Baltimore. Trending now, we may not be as addicted to our phones as previously thought. A new study finds we aren't addicted to our phones per se, but instead the social interactions our phones allow us to have. Researchers say that it's likely not the physical phones we're connected to, but the apps on them that keep us coming back. They say it's easier for people to step back from their phones when they're with other people than when they're alone. Mark Clark with Be More Lifestyles here now. Do you think that's true, Mark? Is it easier for you to step away from your phone when you're around other people?
Yeah, and yeah, it's not the phone that you're not connected to the phone. You're connected to all the stuff the phone does.
Yeah, I think we all knew that, right?
It's that. Yeah, that whoever did that research needs to.
It seems like a no-brainer.
But the big part is yes, if you're around people. But I will say this: I think sadly, those of us who grew up around people, that's definitely the case. I think sadly, some of the young people are so used to their phones and not used to being around people, they have anxiety around people.
Right. I was going to say, we crave that social interaction, but it's at the same time limiting the physical in-person social interaction because we're only having it virtually.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. Look at that. We're having a deep conversation.
I know.
Wow.
What's
well
going on
played.
here?
Look at you.
All right. Thanks, Mark. All right, we are on weather alert. The next weather maker is making its way to Baltimore, and we could see heavy rain and strong winds tonight. Meteorologist Justin Chambers is timing it all out for us. Justin?
Yeah, our severe weather threats here start about 6, 7 o'clock tonight. Wind, heavy rain, and flooding. The potential for flooding, even though it's not going to be as much rain as we saw on Tuesday, we still have a very saturated ground. So any of those low-lying areas that haven't even dried out yet will get more of that rain, and that could lead to some power outages as well. So our high temps today, upper 40s and lower 50s. Most of the afternoon should be fine. Increasing cloud cover, the rain and wind tonight. Sun will be up until 5:04. We probably won't see much of the sun as we get later in the day. You can see in our hourly future scan more of that cloud cover. That southeasterly wind is going to be picking up. But the rain starts about 5 or 6 o'clock this evening. Looks like we'll see some moderate rain that 7 and 8 o'clock hour, and then more of those rain showers in that 9 and 10 o'clock hour. That's when we expect to see most of the heaviest rain. But notice the arrows there with that wind. That's that stronger southerly wind that's bringing in the milder air and bringing in the best chance for some of those gusty wind speeds. Now, as we get into your hourly future scan overnight through tomorrow, the rain's done, but will be dry and windy behind that storm. So we do have flood watches up and down the Chesapeake. Most of us here in the light or the darker green under the flood watch. We do have a coastal flood warning only for Anne Arundel County. So that goes until Saturday morning, especially at high tide tomorrow morning. Right, areas around the docks and other spots in Anne Arundel County could see some flooding. And we also have wind advisories that start Friday evening and go all the way through Saturday afternoon. So that's when we're talking about the potential for some 40 and 50 mile an hour wind gusts. Here's our high temps today, upper 40s and lower 50s across central Maryland. Most of us in the lower 50s from Baltimore down to D.C. and mid 40s in Philly, 52 if you're heading down to the ocean. Looking at your future scan, this is Friday afternoon. Here comes the rain. So we're dry, as I mentioned, for most of the day, but Friday nights when all of that wet weather rolls in, you have that warm front coming in ahead of the cold front that's moving in from the west. That's going to cross between about 9 and 11 p.m. tonight, and that's when we get that strongest wind. Behind that, all of that wind will stay with us, even though we're a bit drier, or quite a bit drier into Saturday. And we stay dry throughout the weekend, but that cold air mass is coming in, and that's going to set us up for the potential winter weather next week. So here's that 10-day forecast. The weather alert day today, 47 and colder tomorrow, only mid 40s on Sunday. MLK Day will only be in the mid 30s. And notice, starting Monday and all the way through next weekend, high temperatures remain only in the 30s.
All right, Justin, remember, anytime severe weather hits, you can have the full forecast right at your fingertips. Download the Fox 45 weather app. Just search WBFF in your app store. Still ahead, it is one ugly lawn, but the owner likes it that way. Coming up, a closer look at the lawn just named the world's ugliest and how it's actually raising awareness for an important cause. And Snapchat is updating its parental controls. Coming up, a closer look at the new safety features the app is rolling out. It's 11:23. You're watching Fox 45 News Midday. All right, Snapchat is giving parents the option to block their teens from interactions with the app's My AI chatbot. This comes after some questions about the tool's safety for young people. The announcement is part of a broader set of additions to Snapchat's Family Center parental oversight tool. Amazon is cutting hundreds of jobs in its Prime Video and MGM Studios divisions. CNBC reports an Amazon executive sent a note to employees about the job cuts this week. The layoffs come the same day as its live streaming platform, Twitch, also announces job cuts on the company's blog. And the first known piece of mail sent using a prepaid stamp will be up for auction at Sotheby's in New York next month. It could fetch a pretty penny, up to $2.5 million. Sotheby's says if it reaches that price, it would become one of the most valuable pieces of postal history ever. The penny black stamp is attached to an envelope dated May 2nd, 1840. Pretty cool. Trending now, a lawn in Australia has been named the ugliest in the world, but it's all for a good cause. Kathleen Murray's lawn is ugly, dry, and unkempt, but it's exactly what organizers were looking for when they launched the contest. The goal was to influence people to use less water and draw attention to water scarcity resulting from climate change.
You're watching Fox 45 in Baltimore. Now live from TV Hill, this is Be More Lifestyle.
Hey, what's up, Baltimore? I'm Mark Clark, and this is Be More Lifestyle live from Studio A at Fox Baltimore. It's me and Lady T in the building.
What's up, what's up?
Good morning, everyone. Let me tell you right now. Well, a woman is going viral for her anti-kids rant at an upscale restaurant. In the TikTok video, the woman calls out parents who she says let their kids be loud at nice restaurants. The woman says parents should stay home or find a babysitter. A lot of debate on this online about this and if it's okay to bring little ones to nice restaurants. I'm curious, Lady T. I'm curious. You don't have any kids.
That's right. That's
You're
right.
Your young, thriving sister.
That's right. That's right.
You're always out at these fancy places.
Oh, I love them.
And so, should the kids stay at home, or what's your take?
I mean, it depends on the situation. If you have kids that are, very well behaved, know when to sit down and stuff, I feel like you can bring them. Now, my family is very infamous for bringing their kids any and everywhere.
And they're all so well behaved?
And they are not well behaved. But you know what? My sister, when I go with my sister and my cousin Alicia, shout out to my sister Cindy and my cousin Alicia, when we go to these nice restaurants, because I'm always posting on TikTok, they have to bring the kids. They got to bring my sister's god kids. And I will say, when you're around my sister, you have to behave.
Okay,
or else you're getting put out of our table, just our table in general.
So you're like, if they're well behaved, you're okay.
If they're well behaved, I feel like it's okay. If not, if you gotta snatch up, Ray Ray and them every couple of minutes, then it's a problem.
Well, we want you to tell it. We want you to tell it. Is it okay to bring little kids to nice restaurants? Vote now on our website, foxbaltimore.com/vote. When you get to the website, make sure you click on the lifestyle tab. You can also vote on our Fox 45 News app. At the end of this show, we'll see what everybody thinks.
It depends. Look at that.
Look, turns out your texting skills can reveal your age. At least that's what Gen Zers say as they abandon capital letters. A language and cultural expert says it's a matter of efficiency since typing in lowercase is faster, plus lowercase can look more visually appealing. Capital letters, on the other hand, make it seem like you're yelling.
That's very true.
Okay, first of all,
that's what my men have told me.
Calm down. For those of us of a certain age, we need bigger letters.
Wait a minute.
It has nothing to do with that. Who cares about how it looks in the yelling?
So when
when
you type all caps, you're not yelling.
You're not yet. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But they say, that's what it means.
That's what young people say.
Oh, excuse me.
We are using this thing, this contraption, to do stuff. We ain't no time to be. Why are you yelling at me? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
we don't even know these terms. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
And so yes, the young people. If it is the young people's game. So I mean, you're a young person. What's your thoughts?
Well, okay, so I do. Look, my font on my phone is as big as it can be at this point. Okay.
Wait a minute.
I know, right?
So
I gotta be able to see.
And you're not even old.
But I try not to do. I don't know. I like all caps. You can see everything better.
So you're with us.
Sometimes
Come
I'm
on
not
over,
even
youngin'.
yelling. No.
Okay.
I'm standing here. But I do notice that a lot of guys actually do the lowercase, and it annoys me because I feel like you have to start a sentence off with a uppercase.
Okay. Well, we have another guest joining us. Van Hall is joining us, and he's a social media king.
Hey.
He joins us right now. Is he there?
Yes, I'm here. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, buddy? Now, a new study reveals nearly 20% of Gen Zers who are looking for jobs actually brought their mom or dad with them to a job interview. According to a survey, a majority of employers say most college graduates are unprepared for the workforce, and nearly half report that they have to fire a Gen Z employee. Now, we're joined by Van Hall Sr. in the house.
Hey,
Van, welcome. Van is a YouTube specialist. So, look, first of all, I don't give a doggone who we talking about. Why are you bringing your mama to the interview?
Right. Why?
But Van, what's your take on this?
That's so weird.
My take is it's weird. It's weird, and they don't want the job. And I wouldn't give them the job. You bring your mama to the job. I'm not giving you the job.
So
I might give your mama the job.
Right. I was going to say, give the parent the job.
Yeah, Gen Zers, if you're watching. Now, where's the parent, though? I ain't going to the job. I'm like, baby, I'm sorry, I can't go to your job interview.
Parenting has changed. Because you as a parent is like, no, I'm not
doing it.
But these other parents of these Gen Zers, they're like, oh, yeah, let me go. You can't do, it's the hand-holding I can't take from me. But they got to step out on their own. They got to branch out.
Yes.
You got to take the hand away.
That's right. So we're going to see more of Van later in the show. Van's coming up. And Lady T, will see more of you later in the show. Right now, still ahead, we're talking healthy habits in the new year. Coming up, the importance of cancer screenings. And we'll show you a new handy tool that's offering a new level of personal protection. Stick around.
It's not mace.
It's not mace. That's old school. Well, it's kind of mace.
What kind?
You're watching Be More Lifestyle.
In today's American Steals and Deals, Julie Moran has a handy tool that makes her feel safer no matter where she is. Here's Julie.
The following segment is sponsored by Knocking.
It is so unfortunate that 1 in 3 women will be assaulted in their lifetime, and that is a very scary statistic. And that's why I love Bling Sting, because you can feel safe and look fashionable all at the same time. And I insist that both my daughters carry this pepper spray because it's maximum strength and it has a 12-foot direct range. It also has a UV marking device that stains the target for up to 48 hours, which is really helpful for police to identify the attacker. That is really, really unique. And all it takes is one quick spray in the assailant's face to make them stop. It's also portable and it's easy to conceal, which I just did if you don't want anybody to see it. And they come in all these bright colors. They've got camo too, so many patterns that you can pick your style and you can clip it anywhere. Like you can clip it to your backpack, you can belt loop, purse, wherever. And you know, this product gives me peace of mind knowing I'm protecting my daughters and myself. And right now, this is really, really great. We are offering 25% off the Bling Sting pepper spray. So head to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer. They're gonna go fast, so you wanna get this right away.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by Hologic.
While cervical cancer screening rates had previously been declining over time, recent studies show that cervical cancer incidence has been increasing among women under 50, including sharp rises among women 25 to 29. Board-certified OBGYN Dr. Camila Phillips and cancer survivor Mindy Hilton join us to discuss the importance of cervical cancer screening. Welcome to the show. Now, tell us about cervical cancer and the current rise in the incident rates.
Yes, thank you for having us. So, cervical cancer is cancer of the lower part of the uterus, also known as the cervix. The incidence, unfortunately, has been increasing, and that's for a few reasons. One is access. Two is because women have not been getting their routine screening as frequently as they should be. And so we're here today to discuss that, encourage women to get back into the office for their cervical cancer testing, otherwise known as the Pap test.
And how does this underscore the urgency and importance of routine screenings?
Well, you know, the medical guidelines are changing all the time, and it really creates confusion. But most importantly, we want to make sure the guidelines encompass testing for everyone, PAP and HPV. We are encouraging women to go every year for their Well Woman exam and discuss with your doctor the right PAP test schedule for you.
And Mindy, tell us your story as a cervical cancer survivor, and what are you doing to empower women to get screened?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was 35 years old, I went in for my annual exam. I had gone every year, and that year wasn't any different. I didn't go because I was having any signs or symptoms or pain. I assumed I was perfectly healthy. So we did the PAP HPV test that day. Because of that annual exam, because of that testing, I was able to catch it really early. It was a very small contained spot, and we got all of the cancerous cells out. I was able to live a healthy life after that, and 1 year later, I gave birth to my daughter. So she's now 7 years old, and I have a happy story to tell. And so I'm an advocate. I share my story with others because I just want to spread how important it is to go annually to see your doctor, to come up with a testing plan with your doctor, because that early detection is key.
I mean, thank you for sharing that powerful testimony, and that is very powerful, and I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people. Guys, thank you so much. Where can people go for more information?
Yes, so I direct women and everyone actually to hologic.com/wellwoman. There you can find updated and factual information on PAP tests, HPV co-testing, and it reinforces the importance of screening for cervical cancer.
Again, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Take care. Still ahead, a live look outside. Things are calm now, but we're on a weather alert. Coming up, meteorologist Justin Chambers tells us when severe weather could move in. But first, I'll be joined by a motivational speaker who's also an expert YouTube marketer. Yes, take your business to the next level in 2024. Stick around.
This is Be More Lifestyle.
Van Hall Sr. is a multi-talented, charismatic speaker and YouTube marketer. He joins us now to share some advice on how to take your business or your page to the stratosphere in 2024. Van, how you doing?
I'm blessed now. Thank you so much for that intro. That was phenomenal, brother. Thank you.
So, Van, you're a YouTube marketer, you're a motivational speaker. Tell us, share with us, how important and exactly what you do as a YouTube marketer.
Well, right now I'm realizing that it's just a numbers game. I was able to grow my channel to 967,000 subscribers in the course of 3.5 years. My son is upwards of 250,000. My daughter grew hers. And I thought it was just a family thing. And then we started teaching other people how to do it just to see if we could. And sure enough, people started to reach monetization within 30 days. And what I'm realizing is that people with businesses and they're coaching, have courses, or doing whatever, they can grow a following and just put their business out there and get as much return for their investment quickly as possible. I didn't know I knew how to do this, but I'm glad I do because it's making an impact on a lot of people other than myself.
And Van, the timing couldn't be more perfect. With this Cat Williams interview with Club Shay Shay, which is now, I guess, the second most viewed interview ever on YouTube.
That was crazy.
I feel like it's a sign that the audience is now coming over to streaming, and really YouTube, right? So this is a good thing for you. Talk to us about why businesses and individuals should have a YouTube page or a social media page now. You almost can't not have one now, right?
I believe that you almost cannot have one, but I believe that for the sake of just having a presence on social media alone is worth having one. I mean, because we all need to move forward to, I guess, trying to achieve our biggest goals and dreams. And that means, building our own businesses and whatnot. But we want to have a face. We want to have a place where people come and they see us on video explaining exactly what we do and making an impact all across the world. But with strategy and doing it properly, you'll only spend probably 1 to 2 hours a week doing it. And the next thing you know, the entire week, your channel has a fresh video up. Many people are purchasing whatever you're selling, and you're building a brand and legacy for your family that you can pass on. And just for the sake of knowing technology alone, we can no longer hide under the guise of technology is not for everybody. I'm not very techie. No, you need to get over that. Everything is techie right now, so you need to figure it out. And I'm teaching people how to do it, even if you've never had a computer in your life.
And so, Van, you're also a motivational speaker, and one of your favorite topics, or the topics that made you famous, says go where you're appreciated, not where you're
tolerated.
Go where you're appreciated,
go where you're celebrated, and not where you're tolerated.
And so, as we wrap it up, talk to us about it. Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated.
Yes, go where you're celebrated and not tolerated. Basically, what that means is that you are made in God's image, and you have gifts and talents, and you don't have to appease anyone but God himself. So put yourself out there. If you're not celebrated and someone is bringing you down and making you feel less than, then you need to move over. Your audience will hear you. Your audience will feel you. Your audience will reach out to you, and you don't have to sell yourself to anyone. Just be what God put you on this planet to be and live to your full potential. And you'll see your life change exponentially. It's crazy. It's actually a wonderful thing to do, feel, and experience. So I'm trying to teach other people how to experience what myself, my family, and my friends are now experiencing as well.
All right, Van. So how can our viewers follow you?
Follow me at lfrfamily.com, but more than anything, I would rather you email me at van.hall@lfrfamily.com with the word coach, and I'll show you exactly how we do this.
I love it. Appreciate you, my friend. Now for weather, let's check weather with Justin Chambers.
Yeah, we are tracking more rain and wind for our weather alert day. The flooding is going to be possible on Friday night into early Saturday. The timing 6 to 11 p.m. So again, it's mainly going to be a Friday night situation into early Saturday. The next couple of hours here in your hour-by-hour forecast, numbers in the upper 40s and lower 50s, increasing cloud cover as we head later into the day. That's going to be that storm that is going to be arriving. But here's a look at our severe weather threats: wind, heavy rain and flooding, possible power outages as well. This is going to be that rain that will fall on that very saturated ground. Some areas have not seen the water recede as of yet from the heavy rain that we saw on Tuesday. This is your hourly future scan. 3 o'clock this afternoon. Notice we're dry. However, more clouds are rolling in. Wind is going to start picking up here 5, 6 p.m. as the rain moves in. And look at this in 7, 8 o'clock. See how those arrows are getting a little bit faster? That's that moderate rain that's going to roll through the Baltimore City and County area, down through Columbia and out toward the eastern shore. And then another round of the pockets of moderate to heavy rain through 9 and 10 o'clock tonight, with that southerly wind really kicking up. Mild conditions and mild temperatures as well, especially as we get into the late night hours. Our high temps are going to come around midnight tonight before we actually see that colder air move in tomorrow. Wind stays with us for most of Saturday, but we're definitely drier. You can see we've got aerial flood watches here. Most of us in that darker green under that flood watch. That means that flooding is possible. And we also have a coastal flood warning. So again, areas in Anne Arundel County are under that flood warning through especially tomorrow morning. Saturday morning, when we have high tide, we'll have the best chance for seeing some of that water inundating those low-lying areas. Wind advisories also start tonight through most of Saturday. The 30 to 40 and possible 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts will be possible. Upper 40s and lower 50s for your highs up and down the 95 corridor for today. Those numbers are going to change drastically next week. I'll show you that here in just a second. Future scan taking you through about 7 o'clock on Friday night. We'll show those rain showers and the heaviest rain between about 9 and midnight right along that frontal boundary. And then behind that, the drier air coming in with all of that wind. Check this 10-day forecast here for you. The weather alert day today, 47 on Saturday, then mid-40s Sunday. And check the 30s that come next week. So Monday starts a string of at least 5, 6, maybe even 7 days with high temperatures that don't get out of the 30s. And we do have a chance for some winter precipitation by next Tuesday.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by Roborock, Greenworks, Chirp, and Litter Robot.
Let's talk about what's hot this year at home with two of the best in the business, Catherine Emery and Chip Wade. They've been telling stories for decades and join us now from the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, the place to find the hottest new products for smarter living.
Well, we are so excited to be here. Chip, we made it to the Consumer Electronics Show, my friend.
Catherine, this is one of my favorite weeks of the year because we're surrounded by all the latest tech, of which I feel like most of it is kind of geared this year on helping make our lives a little bit easier, especially when it relates to cleaning, right?
I mean, I want the robots to do all the work for me. I don't know about you, right?
I know that about you.
Yes,
I know that about
let's
you.
do it.
Well, let's start with this one from Roborock. This is called the S8 Max V Ultra. This thing is incredible. Tell us about the dock.
So brand new this year, just to CES, this is the Rock Dock. I want to rock, and it really does rock because it does all the things: clean water, dirty water for the mop, self-emptying. What it's going to do though, it's going to clean the mop for you and dry it with air that's 140 degrees. You know what that means, right? Sanitize it, and no mildew, no smell.
All right, so inside cleaning, let's go outside. Greenworks battery-powered platform. You know them from all the outdoor power equipment, from blowers to chainsaws, even mini bikes. I just got one for my kids that are awesome. But the 60-volt platform now has a new upgrade with the Maximus zero-turn lawnmower series.
And I read somewhere that it's 14% faster than gas-powered equivalents.
Now, as much as it's fun to be outside, I think it's more fun being inside, kind of pampering yourself.
Let's chill a
Check
little.
out this massager. This is from Chirp. This is called the RPM. Do you know what that stands for?
Of course you know. You volleyballed it right to me. Rolling percussive massage. So what a percussive massage is, that's a therapeutic, deep muscle massage. But that rolling is the comfortable, relaxing massage. So you're getting the best of both worlds. Look at that hands-free break.
Look at this. So
Are
put
you
it
feeling me on
down.
that?
Look at this. Imagine putting your foot on that, your bare foot under your desk.
Don't tempt me with a good time right now.
Oh my gosh, really great stuff here from Chirp. They also, of course, have other products like the wheel. Look at this. It has this nice little detent in the middle for your spine, puts all the pressure where it's supposed to be, all the different sizes for the different intensities. Now, all right, would your cat actually use this thing?
Yeah,
You're a cat person.
You know that I am super excited about the Litter Robot. So they just came out with the Litter Robot 4. What this means for me is I'm never scooping again. What it means for my cat is he's getting a fresh bed of litter. Cat owners, you know what I'm talking about, every time. So what they have a patented sifting technology where once the cat exits, it sifts out all the dirty, rolls back all the clean. It's got a super large bin on the bottom.
Does it stink?
Carbon filter, and that bin is sealed tight.
Nice.
You're only emptying it twice a month if you have one cat. As you can see, the robots are doing it for us, and I am here for that trend, right?
Well, we are excited, again, here from CES. We have all this up for you guys on Be the Best Home. We'll see you next time.
Still ahead, is it okay to bring little kids to nice restaurants? We'll see what you're saying about it after one woman's rant went viral. Woman is going viral for her anti-kids rant at an upscale restaurant. In the TikTok video, she calls out parents, but she says let their kids be loud and noisy at nice restaurants. Woman says parents should stay home or find a babysitter. A lot of debate online if it's okay to bring little kids to nice restaurants. We want you to tell it, is it okay to bring little kids to nice restaurants? 86% of you are saying it depends, while 7% of you are going back and forth saying no and never and yes and always. Great show lined up for Monday. Doctors say Gen Zers are aging faster than millennials. Coming up, why they say that and how the group could reverse things.
Find out how to have your business featured on Be More Lifestyle. Email us at BeMoreLifestyleTV@foxbaltimore.com.
And as always, thanks for inviting us into your home. Have a great weekend.